No, you bastard. No!
Hey everyone. I decided to add this segment at the last minute because before I dive into why Dark Souls became my comfort game, I think it's important to quickly give some context on how I even got here. So to briefly go over some history, about 9 years ago, I was still a full-time Xbox couch potato, and if anyone remembers, around that time, Xbox was slowly going downhill, which is why I decided to jump ship and hop onto this instead. But while writing this video, it hit me. Buying Dark Souls 3 was a total gamble. It wasn't just my first Souls game, it was one of my first real games in my Steam library. And what I mean by that is, I was just starting high school, and my library was filled with free-to-play stuff like CSGO or random sub $10 games. So taking a chance at a completely new game, one I still play to this day, really shows how special that experience was. And I just wanted to say that. So with that out of the way, let me take you through my Souls journey. Please enjoy.
It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
One ugly eye character creation later and I was off to the races, until I quickly learned without learning that I was screwed. I don't know why, maybe I was too excited to play after that wicked cutscene, but I remember skipping every tutorial message. Back then, before I was a pro gamer, I kept getting hit by everyone and kept forgetting basic stuff like locking onto enemies or dodging. Hell, I remember feeling even more hopeless when not even 10 minutes in, I came face to face with this guy. I got rinsed by him, and since I was popping my Dark Souls cherry, I figured I may as well double back and see if I was missing anything.
Damn it!
Nope, but whatever. Just taking a few whacks at Gundyr proved to be fruitful. On my first playthrough, I don't think it took more than 7 tries to take down the first boss, and some coaching from an old pro gamer definitely helped. An important note is that I remember thinking Gundyr's takedown showed me that this game would be doable, and that all the conversation around this game being impossible and too difficult and just a pain, I thought it was just lies or heavy cope or holy skin and bones, I'm gonna cook this fool.
No way!
Bro, come on, man. So anyways, the next area is Firelink Shrine. This is it, the player's first stop for the rest of the game. And can I just say, the music when you first enter, the title of the area popping up, the presentation of the thrones, the lighting, and the very dreary color palette, the place oozes with atmosphere, and that's what I love about it. What I love is that Firelink Shrine encapsulates the small stuff. It does a good job at including everything you'll see in the main game. Things like quest items, little secrets, doors that need to be unlocked, even upgrade materials. It has it all. It's a hub world for the NPCs, the secrets for the player to come back to later, quests to progress, a place to upgrade weapons, and of course, where the player can level up. The last thing I did before leaving was attempting to talk to and understand the NPCs, and even they add character to Firelink Shrine. Like here, listen to Andre. Oh yeah, really hitting that anvil there, really doing, I don't know, man.
I'll hammer him back into shape.
Or even this goofy gal.
Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death?
Everyone here is so soft-spoken, further giving the player a feeling of safety. And I love the area, and I give it a thumbs up rating for a hub world in a deeply grotesque, dying world. Anyways, let's get to it. Tutorial check, hub world check, rest of the game. Listen, I have a pretty good idea of the audience watching this, and I don't think I need to go through each area of the game talking about what I liked and disliked. Exhibit A, I'm not changing anyone's mind about Farron Keep. So, plus that was never the goal of this video. What I did want to talk about, the meat of this video, is mainly to focus on my personal overall experience with my initial playthrough and give a brief overview of my memories. So what did that look like? Well, there was a lot of confusion at first. Questions like, why have I been rolling so slowly for the past 30 minutes? Why was I just rolling normally? Is is this some hidden debuff? Did I break my game? Then follow questions like, okay, well, what armor do I wear now? Do these stats even matter? Starting to think no. Followed up by even more questions like, hey, I murked that samurai guy out front and I've been using this katana for like 80% of the game. Oh Lord Gamer, can I use a different weapon? That confusion and realization actually added a layer of satisfaction to the game. Honestly, the learning aspect for every game has always been a highlight for me, as long as the progression is satisfying. And in Dark Souls, the progression is definitely satisfying. But what was the hook? What was the magnum opus of this genre? The answer is easy. Discovery. This and the games within the genre want you to explore. You're rewarded heavily for being curious. And it's not even just items. It's things like new NPCs that can give out multitudes of spells and items, or even multiple different hidden covenants, all with their own currency and reward thresholds for turning in said currency. Heck, if you're keen enough, there's this emote you can find that takes you to an entire area with endgame items and the coolest base game boss. So, did I miss all NPCs and basically all covenants on my first playthrough? Yes. Did I do a single NPC quest on my first playthrough? No. But missing these things is all the more reasons why I cherish those first couple playthroughs. I kept discovering more and more. I remember missing entire areas just to find them later on in my like 8th or whatever run 3 years later. And I would just be in awe, but also feel like an idiot for missing it. Now I'm sure you're wondering why I didn't go in depth about the bosses, which is kind of what these games are known for from the outside in. Well, I thought they were pretty good. In retrospect, I love most of them for nostalgic reasons, but with a critical lens and some more playthroughs under my belt, they're alright. There's some definite standouts in both the high and low spectrum. Here's this if you want to peek. Okay, with all that said, I've completed the game, like really completed the game. I linked the flame and yada yada yada. I learned about the most OP weapon ever, and I finally learned how to infuse, upgrade, and properly level. I've also played through the game like 10 times by now, so that's it, right? Souls genre finito. No reason to look around because I'm sure nothing else exists, and that 3 at the end of the title means absolutely nothing, right? And I don't think anyone will be surprised to hear, but I love them both, with emphasis on the word both. To give some cliff notes, after playing all 3, I understand the favoritism of Dark Souls 1. The extremely well-made interconnective map, the bosses, the areas, the items, and little quirks like cutting off boss tails, and especially the setting. It's basically everything I love about Dark Souls 3, except I almost have to put Dark Souls 1 a peg above because I cannot get over the foundational world building that this game provides. And going back to what I said before, I also thoroughly enjoyed Dark Souls 2. Does it have some pretty whack bosses and mechanics? Absolutely. I will never be that person that would die on a Dark Souls 2 hill, forever praising, defending, or meat writing the game, but even through its flaws, for me, it did satisfy that itch. One of the highlights that I will give credit for is Majula, which to me is the best hub world across all 3 games. Alright, well that was that brief summary. This was more or less my introduction into the Souls series, along with my anecdotal representation of my love for the entire series. I wanted to say that since my humble beginnings 9 years ago, I've gone ahead and gotten all achievements for the Souls games on Steam, and I'm currently working on Sekiro.
Oh! Oh! First try!
I'd also like to mention that in a few videos, once I'm more well-rounded at editing and have a more confident voice, I'll be trying to make a much longer piece on a game I hold very near and dear to my heart. But like I said, I want to save that. All right, well, thanks for watching. I really enjoyed making this. It took me an embarrassing amount of time. I've never touched editing before, but I've really enjoyed the process. All right, bye. What? Hey, you're still here. Well, I'm glad my video could keep your attention this long. I wasn't really sure if I was going to achieve that. It was kind of a thought in the back of my head. This is kind of off script, so you might hear a lot of ums and you knows, but I just wanted to say that I made this video for my love for the Souls genre, but I don't want to exclusively create Souls content. I have a variety of topics and genres that I want to cover, and if my style of editing kept your attention, I plan on doing a mix of hyper-edited content like this with a sprinkle of some less edited gameplay focused on, you know, more content. And for anyone curious about future projects and, you know, sticking around, of course, there's the previously mentioned Elden Ring love letter video that I want to get at some point. But I also have some video ideas like these, and some of them I might redact because I don't want people peeking too hard. So I'll save the surprises. I don't want to reveal too much. Anyways, you know, I hope you enjoyed. I'm glad you stuck around this long, and you know, I plan on doing more of this. So thank you.
She's like, oh yeah, they were getting it down. I was like, I couldn't believe it, dude. No way did that just happen!